Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving and are having a fantastic week. So I know you guys wanted to see a little bit more on the Burmese python and the two anacondas. So we have out Peaches, my pearl Burmese, and she is absolutely nothing like a nice little peach. She is very evil. Well, I won't go that far, but we are still trying to get over the hurdle of bonding. So every day is an adventure with her. It's something, I don't know. She has a big personality. Some days she's perfectly fine. Some days she wants to strike at me and hiss at me and throw all these temper tantrums. But she is a year. So she was born November 2019, and she is getting on some very good size. Feeding her either small quail or small rats every 10 to 12 days, which I think that schedule is working out for her. And I would say she's about maybe 3.5 feet, but I'm not very knowledgeable in the morphs on the Burmese, but I believe the pearls are the hypo and albino. So got a lot of nice markings on her, nice yellow, and then it goes down into the sides on the whites. And she is so far, well, I was going to say doing well, but for whatever reason she wants to hiss at the camera. So yep, that's pretty much how she acts around me, and she's acting around everything else. But she's very, I don't know what the word is, but she knows what's going on around her. She's very curious. She's always looking around. She's definitely does not feel comfortable being held, and I've held her since day one when I've got her, which was in January or February, so she was still only a couple months old, and I'm still trying to work with her. I hear babies can be like this and it's kind of normal, and then when they get older, they can be nice, very nice snakes. Gentle giants is what I'm told. So maybe when she throws on some more weight, she won't feel threatened or something that I'm gonna eat her or that I'm a threat. But she is definitely an adventure to have, that's for sure. But I'm glad I have her. We'll see how she grows, and I think that's my time limit with her for now. And we will get out the green anacondas, and shockingly, I don't want to jinx myself, but they definitely have a much better temperaments. All right, so we have Poptart. This is my female green anaconda. She was born in 2019, pretty early in the year. So she's coming up on 2 years old, and I would say she's about probably 4.5 feet, maybe touching 5 feet, but she still has a lot to grow, and she definitely has a lot of girth and weight to put on her, but that'll come probably in the next year or two when she hits her next growth spurt. So she has been a remarkably nice snake to own. Probably the only snake that I own that has never struck at me, hissed at me, or even attempted to bite me, which I cannot say about the next anaconda that I'm going to show you guys after her. But she's just been an incredible snake to own, temperament-wise, feeding-wise. She eats a medium rat every 2 weeks, sometimes a little bit longer than that, but we want to keep her nice and healthy and have her live like all of my other snakes, have nice long lives without them getting too obese. But the temperaments between her and the Burmese is shockingly different. So she is, again, very, very docile, and I love her patterns, even though they're a typical green anaconda. I just really enjoy the traditional look on them. The bellies look crazy with all of the yellows and the blacks, and then the yellows and oranges coming up the sides into the typical green and the black circles. But a lot of females do darken up, so we will see what her colors look like in a few years from now as she's growing. But again, I've never had any problems or issues with her, knock on wood. And hopefully I can do some sort of educational stuff with her, ambassadoring with her on snakes, so that people can understand that they are not out to kill them or to do any damage to humans. But of course, I have to see what the laws on that are in Ohio. So in Ohio, when any snake hits the 12-foot mark or goes over the 12-foot mark, we're supposed to pay for a yearly permit. I do believe it's $100 a year, and I believe that's up to one permit is good for 5 snakes, I think. So I know it's good for a couple snakes, so you don't have to buy a permit for every snake that you own, which is very nice. But of course, she has maybe a year to go before I'm gonna have to buy that permit. Maybe 2 years, just depending. So I could hold her all day and not have any problems. She'll just hang out. She's a little crazy, but she kind of just acts like a ball python. She's as docile or even more docile than any of my ball pythons, I would say. So we'll check out Mountain Dew, which is the next green anaconda. And we'll look at the difference. There's not much of a difference, but we can see like the bands behind her eyes they're still orangey, but they are not as vibrant as Mountain Dew's. Maybe because she's getting older. Maybe she wasn't born with the colorations, but I still really like how she looks. So she's very, I don't think many snakes will let you touch them like that close to the head, but she definitely does not mind it, which is pretty much what I try to do to most snakes. The Burmese definitely would not let me do that. But at some point, hopefully, we bond enough where I can hold the Burmese just like this and not have any issues. So we'll put her back, and it's always a pain to put these. She's not even big, but some of these big snakes don't want to go back, and they're constantly half going in and going back out of their cage. But I got to fill her water dish up just a little bit more, so you guys are aware that I do run a 80-watt radiant heat panel in here, and it's set at about 89 degrees, so it's perfect in here for her. And then there's the rest of her cage back there. So she does spend a lot of time in her water, but then I'd say 50-50 on the water and the dry land-ish area. But this is just regular mulch that I use from the hardware store, and it's working out very well for her. So as she grows, I will be adding more water area for her. My plan is right now, probably next year, I have an extra one of these, and then I'll just fill this up with water, put it in here, and this is 4 by 1-ish, 4 by 1.5, but it's not that wide, but I can fit a lot of water in here, and I think it would be good for her until I can come up with a better solution for when she's an adult, which I know most people that own anacondas don't have pools for them, and I know a lot of people are against owning them for that reason. But if you can put them in the bathtub. Oh yikes, sorry about that, guys. I know that's annoying. All right, so we will check out Mountain Dew. All right, so this is Mountain Dew, and she is a lot smaller than Poptart, but I think she's going to grow up eventually to be bigger than Poptart at the same age, when she hits the same age, because she's a much better feeder than what Poptart was when Poptart was her age. So this is the female born, I want to say beginning-ish 2020. So just an itty-bitty little thing, and she is eating birds very, very well. And I really like her colors. I love how bright her orange bands are behind her eyes. And as you can see, she's very tolerable for the most part on handling. And so I've been keeping snakes for about 5 years. And the day I bought her, she bit me. So she was the very first snake to ever bite me. And it didn't hurt. She definitely drew blood though. So she's not afraid to let me know who's in charge when, she's out. So she's doing very well with me handling her close to her head, under her chin and stuff like that. I mean, I kind of let her go where she wants to go with me guiding her, but as we can see, she does not mind it. She doesn't hiss at me. She doesn't strike at me. Ain't nothing crazy, but she's just a really good, again, I would say she's a good temperamental snake, and we will see how she grows up and how things work out with her. Some snakes totally change their attitudes when they start to get older and even when they mature and stuff like that. But again, just the classic normal anaconda, green with the black, very nice sides on her, nice belly, lots of yellows, lots of oranges, especially on her head. So both of these girls will be, temperament wise, if things stay the same, they will be very good to show people and handle people who are nervous about snakes or even big snakes. I think these two girls would be a perfect setup for that. And hopefully the Burmese will too. Definitely have to work with her, keep working with her, which is, I try to handle all of my snakes as much as I can so they get to this point. In her being so young and her being, this nice and stuff like that. I mean, they could tag me at any time if they really wanted to. If they feel threatened, if they have a feeding response, if something were to happen, they could definitely bite me. But obviously she won't do any damage to me now. 10 years from now, when she's, 100 pounds, we don't know. So we just have to, respect them and do what we can to bond with them so they know that we're not a threat. But I 100% would say to anybody, if you're thinking about getting the big snakes, the retics, the Burmese, the African rocks, I don't know why people don't look at the anacondas. I understand they need the water source, but then again, Burmese love water, African rocks love water, and retics love water too. So these seem to be overlooked, and the pricing on them is not that bad. I mean, retics are way more. Maybe not just a basic morph, but I mean, even Burmese are a couple $1,000s, and retics are in the thousands. So I don't know why people overlook the anacondas. I don't know if it's the, all the bad stories about them, the urban legends about them. I don't know what it is, but I always try to steer people into anacondas, green anacondas, preferably, just because I think they're amazing snakes. So they're in the boa family, so they do give live birth, and I feed them like a normal boa constrictor. I don't try to give them food that's too large for them, too quickly, anything like that. But both of these snakes, just like my other boas, I can just do this, hang out with them all day, and no problems. And like I said, hopefully one day my Burmese will be like this too. But that's it, guys. I'll probably hang out with her for at least another 20 minutes in here, hanging out with her. And then I'll probably get the Burmese out again, just so we can bond one last time before the night is over. And hopefully you guys have an awesome weekend. So my work schedule is going to be crazy, and so I'm going to try to still post as many videos as I can. And if I'm lacking on the videos, then I do apologize. Working 11-hour days, 5 days a week, it burns me out. So this kind of gives me, you know, it relaxes me, calms me down from work and stuff like that. So I appreciate the support, guys. All the good comments, the subscribers, everything, the people who are supporting me on this platform, on Instagram, on Patreon. You know, it's definitely humbling and I appreciate it. So on that, I'll see you guys on the next video.